the very top of your screen. I am indeed recording this session. I record all of my classes and post them to my own YouTube page, and that's what we're using as a part of the example for this lesson. I also send a recap with a kind of readout of a lot of the stuff we went over and a link to the video as well as the YouTube channel where you can see my previous classes as well as everything that I have upcoming. That's about it for the housekeeping stuff. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get started. I wanted to start with a few quick statistics about YouTube, about YouTube. I've got just some fun YouTube stats here because, like I said, this should be something that you guys are thinking about as a larger part of your marketing plan, especially right now, given the current climate and what we can foresee going into the future into how consumers read this kind of information and where they're spending time online. There's a ton of takeaways to think about leveraging when it comes to how YouTube is being used, just like other social media channels like Instagram or Facebook, to stay top of mind and present with your client base. YouTube has 2 billion with a B logged in monthly users. That's individual users accessing the platform per month. That is a phenomenally large number. And for context, it is a growing number. About a year and a half ago, YouTube was at 1.8 billion logged in monthly users, and they've been able to grow about 200,000 users per month in a little less than 2 years. The only other channel that has anywhere near these type of numbers and that actually has a better growth rate is Instagram, which is why we spent a lot of time talking about Instagram over the last year or so. But YouTube is a space that you want to make sure you're not ignoring, and all of the marketing that you are doing should be cyclical. So even though you're posting a video to YouTube, it should also be on your Instagram, leveraging things like IGTV and your Facebook. You want stuff spread out across various platforms on the internet, because that is how a search engine optimization web crawler will scan things like web pages for keywords to then increase the probability that those websites will show up when a user types, for example, homes for sale in Santa Cruz. We want to make sure that you're one of those websites that comes up with that kind of a search. It sounds like a lot of words. And again, I'm not going to get into the weeds about SEO and all that stuff today. But what we want to be conscious about is, like I said, where are we putting our marketing and how many places can I put it that I can make sure I am leveraging as a part of my strategy? 70% of people watch 70% of what people watch on YouTube is determined by its recommended algorithm, meaning the machine, the back-end machine that registers all the code, looks at all the keywords and similar videos and things like that, and recommends stuff to users. If a user hits a real estate related video and somehow lands on your channel, there's a high chance that they are going to end up in a similar thread of videos or be recommended more of your own, as long as you remain a consistent presence on the platform, much like your presence on Facebook or Instagram would be dictated in a similar way. YouTube continues to be one of the most widely used platforms among US adults. And what this really cool graph I put on here from the Pew Research Center is put together from data compiled in 2018, and the survey was conducted between January and February of 2019 to compare the data from. And as you can see, almost 3 out of 4 adults who are using platform or online platforms or messaging apps on their cell phone are on YouTube at least once a day. That is a great number. Obviously, things like Instagram, WhatsApp, and TikTok have climbed the ranks a little bit in the shelter in place, but there's nothing more staggering than the numbers that Facebook and YouTube have. So again, big driving nail that I keep hitting on is you want to be present on these platforms. And much like any platform that we recommend you use, you need to be consistent on it to maintain a stable presence with your sphere or audience. Now, with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into YouTube. Ta-da, we are on YouTube. So as a consumer or as a user, you're always going to see the same thing when you land on the page. The algorithm is always working based on things like cookies and tracking data that are attached to search search engines like Google. In my case, because I use Google Chrome as a browser, it's going to recommend videos. And I'm also logged into my account. I'm going to go ahead and sign out because we're going to go over YouTube accounts in just a second. But basically, the YouTube account is what lets you manage the page, as well as like videos, create playlists, and utilize the platform as a consumer, as well as if you wanted to as a professional. You can upload stuff and maintain a channel all on your own. Anybody that has a Google account, like a Gmail, also has a YouTube channel. They work hand in hand. Google owns YouTube, and they're super easy to sign into. What we want to go over real quick, and what I'm going to show you, is that there are actually two kinds of YouTube account, or Google accounts. There's the standard account like you would have when you create a Gmail, which will create a user account. And then like I did with my YouTube channel, it will also create a YouTube channel that you can manipulate and use and create on your own. The standard account creates a YouTube account in my name. So the name of my channel is just Anuj Chaudhary. And the functionality is I'm the only one with my email and password that can access that channel to edit it, upload stuff, delete stuff, whatever you want. The difference between a standard account and a branded account for a Google account is you can treat your YouTube page like an actual brand. You can assign the channel a name. So if I wanted to call my YouTube channel Coldwell Banker Education, I would need to have a brand account to be able to change the name of that channel. As well as the brand account gives you the ability to delegate access to additional users. So let's say I'm part of a team and I have other agents that upload videos to it, or I have a marketing individual that I have as a part of my team, or whatever the case may be. If you need other people to be able to access that channel, to edit it, to add content, to manipulate content, whatever the case may be, now you don't have to give away your email and password that you've created for this account or for the business. You can delegate access to your team members by creating individual users, and you can also have multiple channels if you've got different brands that you wanted to operate in. All that being said, let's go ahead and sign into an account and show you. Now you could, if you have an existing YouTube account, like I said, like if I'm using mine, it's going to be built around my name and I can't really edit anything. You can create a brand account for your business, and the email, that Gmail, never has to be client facing. You can replace it with your professional email, which in my case is my CB NorCal. You'll see that on the channel. You never have to have that Gmail account client facing, but you can create a brand account just for this business's YouTube channel and then assign your personal channel to that brand account and then manage it like a business that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and let's just zoom in a little bit here to make it a little bit easier to see. I'm going to create an account. And this is the only real difference, right? Instead of for myself, you're going to create an account to manage your business. And like I said, these are just Gmail accounts. They're Google accounts. That's all you need to manage a YouTube. And you would put your name and then whatever you would want for your business. And then it would be at gmail.com, create a password, and that's it. You would create that account. I'm going to go ahead and sign into mine, which isn't a brand account, but like I said, the only added bonus is the way you can manage and who can manage that channel. I'm going to go ahead and sign into my account just so we can go ahead and talk about the minutia of a YouTube page now. I think that's my password. That is my password. Awesome. So quick readout of the homepage again. Suggested videos by the algorithm. You've got an entire menu on the left-hand side here that is the same for any kind of user. YouTube has a premium subscription. We're not going to talk about that. And then there's all different types of YouTube, like fashion and beauty, learning, gaming. Those are all listed here. Subscriptions for channels that you follow will be located here. There is a library that refers to your own videos. History will be videos that you've watched. Your videos, again, that's your own uploads. That'll take you to the YouTube studio. We'll talk about that in just a second. Watch later is a list of videos, obviously, that you can watch later. These are playlists that you'll see underneath that. I have one for my classes. We'll talk about that in just a second as well. And then a list of liked videos. If you've liked videos throughout the YouTube platform, you can always get to them quickly from here. And then the last part up here at the very top, home, obviously, where we are. Trending videos are things trending on YouTube. And then subscriptions are, again, subscriptions that you follow, which are also located right down here. There's a little menu button on the top left that will collapse that stuff if you want to collapse it. Again, zoom in a little bit just to make this a bit easier to look at. And then what I'm going to go ahead and access is this icon right here on the top right. That's going to, much like an InTouch account, take you to your main menu where you can access all of the data points for the channel. Manage your Google account is where you're going to go to do things like add your picture, add your business's information, add all of this kind of pertinent info to your account. And then what we really want to talk about here is let's look at my channel. So here we're looking at it as a subscriber. And YouTube channels are they're generally pretty simple, right? You don't need to be too elaborate here because the main goal, just like everything that we operate in, is how easy is it for my consumer to answer X question? And just think about questions that your consumer has. For me, my consumer is you guys. What do you I apologize about that, everybody. I should be back. Can everybody hear me? Go into the chat real quick. Left off at consumer wants. Thank you, Genevieve. Genevieve is my fantastic SSA. I don't know what I would do without her on this team. Thank you, Genevieve. I left off at consumer wants. So let's just rewind and talk about, the YouTube page. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Boop. And we are back. All right. So as you can see, right, we group. You want to just think about how you can collect the stuff that's going to be on your channel easiest for your consumer to read. Like I was saying, my consumers are you guys, so I've grouped my classes onto a playlist. The rest of the videos are uploaded and laid out right here, whether they're classes or not. And then above this, you would normally see a intro video to welcome someone to the channel. I haven't had a chance to finish filming mine yet, but essentially it's something much like your Instagram or your Facebook. Your YouTube channel is doing the same thing, where it provides your potential consumers, both buyers, sellers, to get a glimpse of both what you are like as a agent, that curated personality that we put out there on your platforms that allows a consumer to know what you are what you are personality wise like to operate with, as well as, what are the pillars or foundations or whatever we want to call it, whatever analogy you want to make. What is the brand that you operate in? What is your business? Obviously, you guys are partnered with Coldwell Banker, but what do you bring to the table? And that's where these platforms allow a consumer to find out that information about you. So when it comes time to actually speak with them or have that meeting, you can be the professional and guide the conversation because they've already gotten to know a little bit about who you are and how you operate, and you can move forward from there. I'm going to go into editing the channel in just a sec, but what I really want to talk about is, again, branding opportunity, right? You've got a banner image here, and those of you that have taken classes of mine before, we talk about cyclical marketing. Everything that I manage and update regularly is connected with this page because everything flows together, because the obvious goal of a channel like this and like any of my other social networks are to guide people eventually back to my website. We want to grab a consumer, get them entertained by the content and have them see value in my content, and then go to my website where there's 1,000,001 ways to contact me or sign up for my mailing list and then be attached to another resource of mine beyond the social network. So I've got my Instagram linked here, my LinkedIn, and of course, my website. Any of these link out. And just like the YouTube page, right? Anything that you share should be managed and updated regularly. So everything should be a part of a greater marketing strategy, and you don't want to just throw things in here just to have them. As you can see, a consumer will read out, you've got featured channels, which work in a similar way, but not quite like making connections on a LinkedIn or an Instagram, where it'll help feed a little bit more directly about who you're connected with and suggest you with other partners. What this does on the back end is it helps connect you with other channels to help the algorithm kind of figure out. So if a consumer lands on videos like yours or videos similar to yours, it will help them connect like, okay, these videos are similar to blank. That being said, you don't need to feature a ton of channels, but it's always good to think about a couple. Like, for example, I've linked Coldwell Banker and then one of my agents, and I'll link another one to show you guys how that's done in a bit. But that's what's going on your homepage. Videos, obviously, is everything that you've uploaded. The default is by time, but a consumer can always choose by popular or newest to oldest or oldest to newest. Playlists will be anything that you have grouped. Channels, again, anything you are featuring. Discussions will allow you to post things. Now, what would you do here? This would be a great place. Let's say I was conducting I scheduled a Facebook Live event for next Wednesday to tour a property. Obviously, you would post stuff about that on your Instagram channel, on your LinkedIn, on your Twitter, and you can also add it to the discussion board here and add the link to that live event so to remind consumers that are following you or subscribed to your channel here that they can go to your Facebook and register for that page. And again, it creates a network. So almost everything you will do has a call to action to drive someone back to another source of yours to keep your consumers connected to all of your materials. And then obviously an about page, which has a description and business inquiries, which obviously, like I said, doesn't have to be your Gmail that is associated with this account. It can be your actual business email. And then these links are what are going to also show up right up here. Now, editing all this stuff is just as easy as clicking on this customize channel button. Right when I do that, it's going to take us to the about page to edit. The description, anything you want to edit, you'll hover over it and you'll see it turn gray. And then a little pencil will pop up on the right. Clicking on that pencil will allow you to edit the channel description. This should be your bio. More importantly, this is a great time to make sure you think about your bio and how well it's put together. For example, our design concierge teams write professional bios, and one of the things that they very specifically keep in mind are keywords. Your bios are online, and an SEO rank is your search engine optimization. That is determined by how a web crawler pulls through pages to find related keywords and things like that, and other organic non-paid things about sources that are relevant to a search to elevate them in a search engine, like Google, for example. So you want to make sure you have the right keywords in your bio across all of your platforms, and it should be consistent across all of your platforms, including our syndicated third parties. Now, I've digressed enough on that point, but important, have your bio in here. Once it's in there, you hit done. Again, edit your location, add your business inquiry email, and then you want to add your links. This is just like adding stuff to InTouch websites. You would choose, you can have up to 5, and again, only add what you update regularly. And then these little names that you put in on the left are going to be what shows up when someone hovers over it. So Instagram, LinkedIn, and website. And then obviously you drop those links in here. If you need to delete anything, you click on the trash can and it will delete it. I'm going to hit done. And then we'll move on to the discussion board. When you're in the customized channel side, you can post a public comment, and you can also delete comments that are on the channel as well if you need to. Featured channels will show up here, as well as subscriptions. You can add to those in other places. Same for the playlist. You build those in other places, so I'm not really going to talk about that. Videos, again, this will only show you your videos. If you want to edit anything in specific, you can do it in the editor that we'll get to in just a second. All this will really show you is which videos are unlisted versus listed. And then home. Home is where you will be able to do things like add a featured channel by clicking on the edit button here. You edit the module and just paste the URL for whatever channel you want to add, and then hit done. Featured content is what I was talking about. You can either have a intro video here, which is the ideal thing to do, or place your most recent video by choosing one of your uploads and hitting save. And you can add a headline. I'm not going to add that here, but all you would have to do is save that, and that will put a video right above all of the uploads. Pardon me, you've got your created playlist right here. You can create new playlists from here, or you can create a new playlist when you upload a video. I will be uploading a video to end of this presentation. I'll create a playlist then. You guys will see that happen then. But all you can really do here is you can move some stuff around. Again, make things easy for your consumer. You can add a section. This is very similar to editing a website in like a Squarespace, or even on InTouch. You've got some pre-selected items that you can choose from, like multiple playlists. You can have popular uploads, posted videos, live videos, past live streams, subscriptions, custom groupings, etc. And then you can lay them out horizontally or vertically. Again, this doesn't need to be too busy. You don't need to overthink this. It just needs to be easy for your consumer to figure out what's going on here and what the purpose is. And again, you should have 2 basic fundamental purposes. A, showing off your business and your brand, and B, showing off who you are and how well connected to and how much you love the community you operate in. Just like anyone that's attended my classes on websites or Prospect Square, or any of my classes, I talk about making sure your channels have valuable community info that you can dig up. You guys sell homes in your communities. Who better for your consumers and your audience to get information about those communities from than you, because you're the one helping people, set their lives in them. And that's how you can create real sustainable value with these channels. And revisiting value and what we call shareable posts are by having stuff about your communities and not just about market data and square footage and all that kind of stuff. Bring your personality to it, have fun with it, share what you love about where you work and why you work where you do, and all those kind of great things. The last thing we want to talk about, obviously, you'll have your professional headshot right here, and then a banner image. Branding is everything. If you've got something built out of Design Concierge, or if you had a designer build something for you, whatever the case may be, this is where you want it to go. I've got my image in here that I've added. I took this photo. Much like anything that you put anywhere online, make sure you own the copyright for it or have paid the copyright owner for permission to use the image. Just one of those gray areas you never want to be in. I'm going to show you how to edit this channel art. It's just as easy as uploading photos from anything that you do. You can drag and drop or select a photo from your computer and upload it that way. I'm going to choose one from my gallery. The big thing is as you'll see, when you select your photo, You want to make sure it lays out and adjust the crop, which you can do in here, to fit across multiple platforms. This is what it'll look like on the desktop, on the TV, and on mobile. I've got a little helpful guide that will be in the recap that talks about what ideal size your photo should be, and you want to make sure you crop it in an appropriate manner. So as you can see, my photo of Bixby Bridge, because I work in Monterey and Carmel, and this is one of the biggest icons in the area, it is specifically cropped so it looks great on YouTube, and the full photo is available when you see it on TV, and then even on mobile, you still get enough of this iconic section to be a great snapshot. Be conscious of, so if you've got a brand logo, you probably want it right in this middle here. So you want to be conscious about how this image is going to be utilized across every version of how your consumer can view it. And most consumers, about 3/4 of them, as that graph showed earlier, are accessing this on the mobile app. So you want to make sure the image looks best on the mobile app first. Outside of that, that's really all you do to customize the consumer-facing side of the channel. Let's talk about videos. What kind of content you need to put up here, right? I've talked a ton of times about community-related, listing-related, business-related. What's something you can do easy out of the gate? Everybody's got YouTube videos already created for them if you've purchased a listing concierge package. Right now, all of them get uploaded to a Coldwell Banker channel, and that does all of the great SEO boosting and all that great stuff for Coldwell Banker. It should be doing it for you and your channel. So let's say I've got one of my agents was kind enough to let me use his account. Let's say you've got a listing and you want to put that video on your channel and then have a playlist of listing videos for your consumers to easily access. So we'll go through that process, and then you can see how to upload a video. I'm going to go into Listing Concierge real quick, and we're going to go ahead and pick the order. And I'm going to go to my television and video. Like I said, everything's already uploaded to that channel. If it's pretty recent, you should be able to ask your Listing Concierge coordinator for a direct download to the video, or I will put a link to this handy dandy website that will allow you to just take this YouTube URL and download the video for yourself. So what I'm going to do is copy that link, and if we click it, like I said, it'll take us right to that YouTube video.
Located half a block from the world-class beaches and surfing of the iconic Pleasure Point,
which is an awesome commercial that, again, people hear with their eyes. This is a great opportunity to make sure you can show your consumer what you do and not just tell them like any discount Joe or Joanne. You can show them by going, hey, check out my YouTube, check out my Facebook, and then remind them of where this syndication runs and how frequently the show runs and all of that great stuff. Now, I digress. Back to the main point. We've got that share link, right? And again, you can come from here and grab that right here by hitting share. You hit copy. I'm going to close that and then drop it right in here. As you can see, it'll give you several options. We're going to take the highest quality one and just hit that download button. And in just a moment, we will be download ready. Obviously, I'm streaming and recording a class for you guys, so it's going to take just a second longer than it usually does because my internet is getting through some pretty hardy usage right now. As you can see, it's converting that video. In just a moment, we'll see a big green button that says download, and I'll be able to save this to my computer. Boom. That is now saving, and my downloads go right to my downloads folder. Might be different for some other people. But long story short, video is saved. What do we do now? I want to upload it to my YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and let's zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and click on, see this little camera with a plus icon in it? We are going to click on that and hit upload video. And you can do one of two things. You can either, if you've got the video open in a folder, you can grab it, drag it, and drop it right into this little icon right here. You can go the old-fashioned way, like I'm about to, hit select files. We're going to go to my downloads, and I know that video is called 125 32nd Avenue because that was the address. There it is, 125 32nd Avenue. I'm going to hit open and blast off. Video is uploading. I'm going to go ahead and put the title. I'm going to take away this coldwellbankerhomes.com, and just leave the address right here. What should the description be? The description should be that lovely ad copy that you've already got in your listing concierge. We're going to go to the dashboard. We go to my brochure, or you could go right into the listing details. Going to go to marketing copy. We'll just select that, copy, and paste. And then make sure we link to the website. I'm going to go ahead and then again go to my listing dashboard. Go to the property website. Grab the one that was built for this property. And then we copy that URL. And then I'm going to front load that information. So I'm going to go to the top of the description and just put property website and there. And there we go. You can choose a thumbnail by selecting one of the pre-made options, or you can upload your own just like you would upload any image. Again, branding is king. If you've got consistent branding and marketing that you can utilize here, do it. I want to add this to a playlist. I only have one playlist right now, Coldwell Banker Classes. This wouldn't fit that, so I'm going to create a new playlist. We're going to call it television ads. I want to make it public so anybody can see it. I'm going to hit create. And just like that, new playlist is made. I'm going to add it to it by selecting that check mark, done, and we're good. You're going to hit no. This video is not made for kids. If you hit yes, it will put it into the YouTube Kids section, which has a different algorithm and does you no good because kids don't buy houses. Next, we'll take you to the video elements where you can add things like an end card to a screen. You can choose some of these different options here. I'm sure you guys watch YouTube videos all the time. You ever see at the end of them where they go, hey, if you want to see the, in our case, you could say, hey, if you want to see the home I toured or the video I made last week, click here. And then you can have a little box show up and put the viewer, put the video through that viewer. Or you can say to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click on my face right over there. This is where you do that kind of stuff and where you can add them into your video. You hit save to obviously save it. I'm going to discard those changes because I don't want it. Next, visibility. The YouTube link is right here. This is already going to, it's already live. As you can see, it's finished processing. So you could copy and paste that and send someone right to the video. We're going to make it public. Public allows everybody to see it right away. You can make a video unlisted. That means only somebody with this link can watch the video. Private video, only you and people that you allow can see the video. Obviously, for business purposes, you want everything to basically be public. You can also schedule things. Again, thinking about creating buzz and creating excitement about things. You can always set stuff to premiere at a certain time, promote it across all your channels, and again, drive people back to your YouTube page. So if you've got stuff, like I said, you can create a Facebook event, right, to drive people to your Facebook. You can say, I've got the commercial for my video that for my new listing that was played on At Home in Northern California last weekend, and will run on on Fox 35 in Santa Cruz, and will play on ABC 7 in the East Bay this weekend. It will also be premiering on my YouTube on this date and time, and utilize all of that stuff to again create a sense of excitement for your consumers. And the big thing is make sure you market it across all of your platforms. Create a sense of cyclical marketing that drives your consumers back to other channels, and more importantly, eventually back to your website. Once you're done with all of these things, you hit schedule, or you hit done, and this video is set to go public at a certain time. I'm going to go ahead and close, and it'll take us right to the My Video section. So now you can kind of see when you're in the quote-unquote YouTube studio, this is where you are landing to operate on the back end. I'm going to jump to the dashboard real quick because that's where you will always land first. Your dashboard, much like any dashboard, is full of quick shot analytics, recent subscribers, ideas for you, and kind of performance snapshots of your most recent video. Going to go back to the video section, which is right underneath that, and you can see everything about all of your videos. Much like any spreadsheet, it's nicely organized. They're uploaded default by upload date, and I'm going to get to all of these buttons in just a sec. You can obviously select videos, so you can group edit, group delete, whatever you would like to, or do individual videos. This visibility tab right here, obviously will show you if a video is unlisted. Anyone with the link can see this video. This video will not appear on my channel. Public videos appear on my channel and everyone can see them. This scheduled video is scheduled. If I want to change that, I can click on any of these and just switch it to public and publish. And just like that, I've changed the status. Restrictions, as you can see, any restrictions will show up here. I made that one a kids video. That one says made for kids. If you use any music that is not yours, you will often see things like a copyright claim. I had music running in the background of this video, and it is tagged with a copyright claim. All that means, it means the video is not being taken down. It just means I can't monetize the video and make money off of it with ads. It's fine by me. I'm not using this to make money anyway. Date, self-explanatory. When was it uploaded? Views, comments, likes versus dislikes. Quick snapshot analytics again. As you hover over the videos, I'm going to go to one that has a little bit of time on it. We can see you've got a few options whenever you are hovering over a video that pop up. The very first one is details. This will allow you, as it sounds, to come in here and edit any specific details for a video. Grab the link, change the thumbnail, add video tags to make the video a little bit stickier for keywords in the system, change its visibility, as well as you can view analytics for the specific video to see how this specific video is performing across all of these categories. You can also edit the video. This is something I'm going to talk about really quick. This is a real standard video editor made available by YouTube. We'll do all the basics. There are things like iMovie or Movie Maker that I think are a little bit better. And if you spend the time to learn those programs, you'll get a little bit more out of them. But for basic things like trimming, cutting, adding elements, as well as blurring things or being able to add music, you can do all of this stuff here. As you can see, I click on that audio button. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. And you've got tons of royalty-free music that you can select to just add to the video. And then you can cut and edit things along this timeline as you see fit. You can also add sound effects to specific videos, but I can't figure out, there was a spot to do that. And for some reason, I am blanking on where it is. But much like, you can also add blur, like I said. You can blur faces, you can blur custom areas. Morning, everybody. Basically, it gives you a functional basic editor that you can utilize in the system to clean up your videos a bit, but it's not going to be as elaborate as, again, a iMovie or a Movie Maker kind of thing will be. Comments will allow you to view comments for the video. Subtitles is a big place. The automatic subtitles get created by YouTube, and then you can edit them to make sure that they are correct. Subtitles are huge. I can't talk about enough about how important it is to make sure that your videos also are accessible to the deaf and hearing impaired. They're a huge community that real estate agents often aren't thinking about when they are doing their marketing. And it allows you to maintain, again, that little step ahead of the curve. And it's not just for the hearing impaired. Subtitles are huge assets to people that are just in places where they can't listen to your video at the moment. And this way they can still get the information you're getting across by going in and looking at these subtitles. Again, my internet's lagging a little bit because of all the stuff I happen to be doing, but you hit edit, you can go in here, as you can see, and make necessary changes if it catches anything incorrectly. Because the system works by audio, right? So it depends on how good your diction is and how good your pronunciation is of words, will determine how much editing you have to do here. When you're done, you hit save changes and they get applied to your video, and you also download them so you can add those subtitles to the video when you're uploading it to other channels. And that's it for the basically the editing side. I'm going to go back to the videos. Let's close some of these. You can also see, again, analytics, comments, all of those things we looked at in the details are also quick, deep links made available right here. You can also click to view the video on YouTube right away. We can do that for the one I just uploaded. And as you can see, the video is live.
Located half a block from the world.
The link is active to take consumers right to the single property website. And all of the information is there like it should be. And as a consumer, when you go back to view my channel, you will see, again, most recent upload will pop up right at the front. And now I've got two playlists, television ads and my Coldwell Banker classes. Easy for my consumers to get to what they need to. In the back end, last few things, I promise, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. If you hit playlists, you can view those playlists you've created and edit them if you want to make edits. Adjust the order the videos are showing up in, make edits to the descriptions, share the playlist, shuffle the playlist, add videos, remove videos, all those fun things you can do from there. This analytics button will give you analytics on the channel as a whole, much like the individual analytics or the channel analytics. All of them are valuable. This will allow you to know how these videos are reading with your consumers. Everything needs to be made for your consumer. So how do they find it? What kind of engagement are you getting? What videos are most popular? How long do they typically watch? All of this great stuff should be touched upon regularly to make sure that you are reaching your consumers in a way that is meaningful to them, because that's how you create sustainability with the content that you're creating to stay top of mind with them, so they are constantly revisiting these pages, so they see your face over and over again. And then because they're doing that, they're probably more likely to share it with their friends to say, hey, check this video out, this is really cool. And then your audience grows more and more, and everything we build, right, has those call to actions into it. So those new members hear about all your other channels and will eventually end up on your website where they can join your sphere by adding their name to your mailing lists. And you have grown your sphere. It's the big goal with all of this stuff, right? So again, utilize all of the analytics here. This stuff also feeds, if you have a Google Analytics account, it will also feed to that, and you can guide all of the brand information in your Google Analytics brand account to one place. Now, the cool part is if you're using InTouch, you can feed the Google Analytics into InTouch as well as Facebook Pixel. So if you have a Facebook Pixel account, which is the analytics account for Facebook and Instagram business ads, you can also feed that data into InTouch and now have all of your analytics for all of your major sources in one space, so you can really start to pick apart what is specifically working, what isn't working, what is going to keep you top of mind, what needs to be changed, and make educated decisions about these kind of things and not just continue to fly off the cuff and see what works. Because obviously the best way to grow these spaces, just like anything else in any aspect of these businesses, is to do that based on knowledge that you can get back in terms of data. That is analytics. Comments, obviously, will allow you to view and edit any channel comments that are here. You can reply to, again, just like comments on Instagram or Facebook, engage your consumer. Everything should have some kind of touch. I am not a business, so I don't really have to pay too much attention to these, except for the one that is important. The one that says videos are a little bit too small. That is why I zoom in now. Subtitles, again, like I talked about, this is where you can manage the subtitles for your pages. Monetization, we're not going to talk about. Oh, an audio library. This is what I wanted to get to. My brain fart when I was talking about editing videos. This is where you can get all of the free music made available on YouTube, as well as a bunch of fun sound effects that are made available on YouTube to, again, liven up your videos if you need different kinds of sound effects. Lots of cool, fun stuff here. And that, I mean, that's YouTube, guys. That's how the basics of how you operate in this system and what you do on this page to make it your own. Again, like I've said 100 times in this class, this needs to be something that is thought about in a larger part of your marketing strategy, just like anything else. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, open up the floor for questions, and let's see what everybody has to ask. I'm going to go to the chat and open that up. Oh no, my screen is out of focus. Let me scroll up. Okay, so Wi-Fi cut out. I am back. Hopefully my screen wasn't too out of focus for too long. I've got one here. I don't understand what you mean about using your personal Google account and still creating a brand account YouTube channel. Can people not let people see your email? Can you go over that in more depth? Yes, what I was talking about is so anybody with a Gmail has a YouTube channel. The difference between a standard Gmail and a brand account is the way in which the user can manage that YouTube channel. More importantly, being able to name that channel whatever the brand name may be. So if I wanted to call my channel Anuj's Coldwell Banker Classes, I can't do that because it's not a brand account. But if I wanted to, I could create a new brand account on Google and have the email be anujcbmonterey@gmail.com. But nobody ever has to see that because I can make that contact me email in the system my CB NorCal, and the only emails that will ever go to the Gmail that I have created are things related to the YouTube about new comments or whatever the case may be. And if I really want to get them, I can forward those emails to the account I regularly manage, or just go in and check that business account on a scheduled basis every like 3 or 4 weeks. What is the difference between listed and unlisted video? I went over that. A listed video is something that is public and viewable. Unlisted videos are things that you need to have the link to be able to view. How many channels can you have? If you are on a personal YouTube account, 1. If you are on a branded YouTube account, or sorry, a personal Google account, 1. Whatever account for your personal, it's your personal account. For example, my Google account that I use for this YouTube page is my a personal Gmail account that I made for Coldwell Banker, and then that is what is managing my YouTube page. And I can only manage that YouTube page. However, if I make a brand account, I can manage however many YouTube pages I want with that brand account, as well as reassign my personal YouTube account to that branded page and manage it from there. Can we add multiple LC videos to combine them into one? So, Claudia, if your question is concerning combining like multiple commercials into one video, yes, but not within the YouTube platform. You would want to download all of those videos individually and then cut them together using like a movie maker or Adobe or something like that. However, I would not recommend that strategy because the importance of having regularly posted content on these channels really feeds into that SEO gobbledygook that I was talking about in the beginning. You want to make sure that there's a consistent presence and a consistent consistent presence and a large quantity of stuff being uploaded over that time, because the more specific keywords show up across multiple videos and across various places on that platform and other platforms that you manage, the better chances you have of climbing SEO ranks with pages that aren't just associated with Coldwell Banker.
Anuj,
Yes.
It's Claudia. I asked that because I was thinking if somebody wanted to put like two spots together for a listing presentation, not just one, instead of having to have
Okay,
two
yeah.
links.
For that, you would still have to do it in some other software. You would still need to download those two individual ads that you wanted. And then once you have those videos saved, you could drag and drop them into an iMovie or Adobe or something like that, and then just splice them together and then
Okay.
export them out that way. But you wouldn't be able to do it in the YouTube platform. That only allows you to edit the video you've uploaded as it is. You can't combine other sources with it.
Okay. And sorry, can I ask you another question?
Of
Going
course.
back to your brand email, what's the difference when you set up a branded email to get multiple channels as opposed to a personal account?
The only difference is that the brand account will allow you to change the name of the YouTube channel if you'd like, and also manage multiple channels. So you can, I'll share my screen here because I didn't set up one as a brand account, so I don't have it on the back end, but I created this little handy thing. So you would see when you logged into YouTube where you could select either the personal account, you could select your brand page. And then if you wanted, you can also assign other users access to the brand channel. So then when they logged in, they would also see their account as well as the brand channel that they're shared access with.
Okay, that was actually what I was wondering, if there's a point when you're setting up your account, if it asks you if it's a personal or a brand account. That was more the specifics of how that happens.
I can show you that real quick. It's just when you are creating a YouTube, or not even a YouTube, when you're creating a Google account. So let me sign out. And then let's go back to YouTube. So if I go to sign in, and I'll create, use another account. And then when you go to create account, instead of creating one for yourself, you just create one to manage your business. And then you can always reassign that personal page. Like I could create a new brand account for myself and then assign my current channel to that brand account and then change the name and manage it that way.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to continue moving down the chat list, but again, if anybody wants to, feel free to unmute and ask a question.
Sorry, can I go back and ask one question? I had asked the question regarding using your personal email. Now, what if you have a Google email that's your work email and your work Google account? There's no issue with changing that to a branded account and then using that for your YouTube? Is there?
Not at all. Again, I want to stress there's nothing on the back end or the consumer side that has to change. If you just create a branded account, all it will allow you to do is say, hey, instead of just Stephanie being the only person that can access this account and having the account be called, like having the channel's name just be your name, you can say, hey, I'm going to switch this account management to the brand account. And we're going to call the channel Coastal Real Estate, and then so-and-so and so-and-so can also access it with these Gmail accounts as well.
So if I have my Gmail account, that's my work account, which is Stephanie Sells Sacramento, and I want that to be the same with YouTube, and I've already set up my Google account that's Stephanie Sells Sacramento in my Gmail, am I able to go back and change it then to branded or not?
I don't believe you can convert an existing account to a branded account. But like I said, the only thing that this concerns is management of the YouTube channel. So you don't have to ever access that email for any particular purpose, because you could then, once you've created that brand account, forward all of those emails to your current Gmail, your personal Gmail, and then you'd never miss a beat. And the branded account is just there to make sure that, again, you can change the name of that YouTube channel or allow other people access to it without giving away your email and password.
I see. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to move on again with the chat list, but again, feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like. Next one is, I heard Facebook might mute your video if you have copyrighted music. That is true. I did say that, you know, a copyright claim can be filed and nothing would happen. If your music that you are using is predominantly featured in the video or runs longer than 35 seconds, the copyright holder does preserve the right to be able to mute and remove their content from your video. That being said, there's an entire library of free stuff to utilize. So I would go that route, but my video example, I had a instrumental from a band I really like softly playing in the background while I spoke over it. It meant the copyright was filed. However, I'm not trying to monetize the video, so the copyright owner did not take it any further. 9 times out of 10, that will be the case unless you're just flat out playing the song. All copyrighted, you cannot use. Same with photos, they will need release. I basically covered that. Thank you for those that are saying good job, and you're welcome to those saying thank you. My recorded session will indeed be posted to my YouTube channel, and again, sent out in a hearty recap to you guys that also has little snapshots of everything that I went over that you can follow. Feel free to reach out to me. You can reply to that recap email or your FMS or local SSA. You guys have a talented team and network behind you that really wants to see you succeed. Now is the best time to get into this space. And like I said, carve out a image for yourself, for your consumers, and there's a ton of positive stuff that you can be doing right now to create fun content that is built around you and your business. So go out there and have some good times with it. If there are no other questions, I will let you all go. In that recap, there is a survey link. A lot of my